Okay, Jack, tell me, how did you take your coffee this morning?
Black.
Okay, one of the things I've always wanted to know is coffee good for you? Is it bad for you? Give me the scoop.
Let's put them in both categories.
Both.
It's good and bad depending on how you take your coffee.
2 sugars and cream.
Probably not the best choice.
Okay, so maybe I'm going through the drive-through. What should I not pick up?
Well, you wouldn't want to grab a large culotta. Something like this has around 1,000.
It looks delicious.
It does look delicious. This has 1,050 calories in this specific one. This tops the chart and even has a little extra cream.
Yikes.
This has as much fat as 2 Big Macs.
2 Big Macs
2 Big
in that one drink.
Yeah.
I'm afraid to ask, how much sugar are we talking?
We're talking 130 grams of sugar. So I don't know about you, but I would rather have this entire pint of ice cream. It has the same amount of sugar as this drink.
This is my very favorite Ben & Jerry's, but you're telling me I could have this and it would have just as much sugar as this drink right here.
Absolutely.
So the best way probably to take your coffee, if you can't drink it black like you do, maybe a little almond milk, a little stevia, is that a good way?
Sure, I mean, right there you're only getting about 50 calories. You just saved yourself 1,000 calories. That's a lot over every single day.
So we've covered coffee pretty well, but in the morning with your coffee, you might have that glass of orange juice. A lot of juices that we see in the supermarket in the juice aisle. Something you would recommend? I mean, fruit juice, it sounds good for you.
Yeah, I mean, there's no replacing whole fruit. When you look at these fruit juices, they do have a little deception on the labeling. It'll say all your vitamin C, high in calcium, but these are added back into it. You lose all the natural ingredients. When you process anything, you lose all the health benefits.
Okay, so like an apple juice off the store shelf, probably going to have a lot of sugar in it.
Sure, it's typically from concentrate. It's really not orange juice, it's just orange juice concentrate.
Okay, so let's say we take it to the next level. We buy those oranges, carrots, apples, and we juice them ourselves. That sounds like a pretty good option.
Sure, it is a good option for people, especially people that need nutrients, need the vitamins and minerals. But you're stripping the dietary fiber. So what that's going to do is it's going to increase your blood sugar level quicker. So one of the problems that people do with juicing is they put too much fruit into the juice.
Ah, that's what makes it taste good.
That's what makes it taste good. You're really going to want to use more vegetables when you're juicing. And then it's going to be very healthy for you. Just remember, you're stripping the dietary fibers. And the dietary fibers are what you need for being healthy.
What about juicing as a meal replacement? A lot of people say, oh, I had a juice for lunch. Is that going to be a good idea?
You know, what a great question. Depending on what you put in it. The other problem is it's really not whole food, so it's not sitting in your stomach and churning. It's digesting a little bit quicker, so people with hunger issues that are on a diet, it's probably not going to be the best choice.
Okay, all right. Well, moving on to soda now. You know, it's bad for you, but just how bad is it for you?
Well, the label with the nutritional experts call them liquid candy. So they are really, really, really bad.
But what about those people who just have to have that Diet Coke, that Dr. Pepper every day, they're addicted? How can they break that habit?
Well, one of the best ways of breaking these habits is to wean off slowly. And one of the things I like for them to do is use that kind of bubbly water we talked about earlier. When you think about that, that's going to help replace the bubbles. The other thing you have to think about when you're replacing it is the caffeine. So you could be creative here. You could have coffee and make it cold and put it in the bubbly water. You could add tea to it. You could add a little caffeine back into it to make it a little healthier. And it actually doesn't taste that bad.
Kids, they love soda almost as much as adults. We try not to give it to our kids. Is it really that bad if they have it every once in a while?
Well, the first problem is the sugar that we already talked about. That's going to make them a little crazy, and then they have that down, and then it's really so bad for them.
Off the wall.
So bad for the long term. You know, and if you look at studies dating back, you can see childhood obesity relating to that. But the other problem is 16 ounces of soda has just as much caffeine as a coffee.
Really?
So you wouldn't want to give your nephew coffee.
Absolutely not.
So you probably wouldn't want to give him the soda plus all the sugar. So it's a huge condition.
Well, a lot of people reach for these, the Diet Cola.
Sure, and a lot of people...
It's diet, Jack. We're on a diet. Come on.
You know, and there is no calories, but there's been several studies pointing to that there's really no difference. Meaning in weight gain over the long-term studies. Over 20 years, there hasn't been a study that showed that people actually lose weight by drinking Diet Cola. Dr. Mark Hyman is critical in this field, and he has so many different studies that showed over years and years that these things you'll actually gain more weight.
So what's in this that makes it taste so good? Some artificial sweeteners maybe?
we've heard about all the different controversy with artificial sweeteners. The bottom line is we really haven't had enough time to study these things, but a lot of the research does show that they're terrible for you. There's 3 reasons why you're going to gain weight with diet sodas. First, they're going to increase your hunger. And
you're addicted to them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's going to increase your hunger. There's a hormone that's made in your body that's called leptin that goes to your brain and says you're full. That's going to kind of down-regulate that, so you're going to be more hungry. The second part, it could actually increase your bad cholesterol, known as LDL, which could lead to heart disease and so on and so forth. Then you also have the problem with insulin. It actually mimics insulin. So when you have insulin within your bloodstream, you're not going to be able to use your body fat for energy.
Yikes.
So we talked before about how do we lose body fat. One of the things you want to do in between meals is allow your body to use your own body fat for energy. If you're drinking a Diet Cola, you're not going to be able to tap into that natural storage.
So we've covered soda, we've talked about diet soda, and neither one of those are really a good idea for your everyday drink. And you probably don't think alcohol is something that we should be drinking on a regular basis either on our road to wellness.
Sure, specifically when you're trying to lose weight. You know, alcohol does have a lot of calories and it has a lot of sugar, depending on what you're drinking.
But let's say we're in a situation where we feel like we do have to have a drink in hand. What's the lesser evil here? What should we pick?
Well, you're probably going to want some kind of clear alcohol like tequila or gin. And maybe you want to put it on just pure water. Then it's going to help rehydrate you as the alcohols dehydrate you.
Okay, what about red wine? Everyone always says, have a glass of red wine a day, it's good for your heart. Is there any truth to that?
Sure, what they're talking about is an antioxidant in red wine called resveratrol. And it's a very powerful antioxidant, but you need a lot of red wine in order to get the maximum amount of benefits. Some studies show up to 40 liters you would have to drink of red wine to get the maximum benefits. Not to say there is some health benefits with it. So if you had it with a meal or maybe half a glass, it wouldn't be bad for you though.
Okay, what about beer? 6-pack of beer here, a light beer. Is that better than a glass of wine?
There's still calories within beer. And again, it's one of these portion control things. If you're really trying to cut your calories, maybe you want something more like gin or vodka. Some of these clear alcohols, and you can put it on just straight water. Or we could even use some of the bubbly water that we used earlier.
Ooh, seltzer. I love seltzer water. I'm totally into it right now. But oftentimes I pick the flavored seltzer. Is that a good option?
Definitely not the flavor, the regular ones. And if you want to add something to it, go ahead and put like some kind of fruit, lemons, limes, something like that to give it a little different spice.
So really, when it comes to drinking alcohol, what would you recommend for someone who's trying to watch their weight?
Definitely some kind of light alcohol on water.
Liquid calories, it seems like they are everywhere, and you certainly have to be savvy or they will sneak up on you and totally derail your plan.
You know, education is key when we talk about wellness. So your total wellness, now we understand that there's a lot of hidden calories within these drinks. So when you look at health as a whole, we always teach the same exact thing over and over again. What are you capable of doing? Do that, but do it better every day. So maybe we took 1 or 2 tips from this video, incorporated it in our life. Within a year from now, we'll be much healthier and happier.
Thanks, Jack, and stay healthy, friends.